Let me freeze this. Here's that animated MRI. And this is where I like to point out these discs are the white areas. If my pointer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Believe it or not, 9 out of 10 doctors will say, yeah, those are the discs of the neck. 9 out of 10 lawyers will say, yeah, I have to be smarter than the doctors. Those are the discs of the neck. When in reality, this is C3. C2 is here, C1 up here, occiput. 30% of the neck is above here. That set of bones, those 3 bones, are above this last disc. That's why MRIs can't diagnose headaches. This is the back of the neck where the facet joints are, right and left. Can't see them. Again, the person isn't standing, they're lying down. And they legally have to put animation on here because it's that looping together. So I just want to point out there is a major difference. Because a lot of lawyers will say, oh, we use motion MRI. And I go, well, there really isn't motion. And let me tell you why it doesn't find the injury. Next, what we're going to see is DMX, or digital motion X-ray. Next, what we're going to see is DMX, or digital motion X-ray, which we made the bones black. We made the background white. And our bones almost look like they're outlined with black. Like I took a black magic marker and outlined my bones. Reason is our technology blackens the cortical margin of the bodies. So in other words, we highlight. You're going to see a couple things here. Let me freeze this. This lady came to me and says, no one can figure out what's wrong. I go, I'm no rocket scientist, but I go, just tell me when it hurts. She goes, well, every time I bring my chin to my chest and I look up is when I feel the most pain. I said, well, go ahead and move. So right away we can follow the George's line or backside of these bones up, and we have a stair stepping here. That is a torn posterior longitudinal ligament here. We actually have an avulsion fracture here that's going to float up and down her throat. We're going to have an interspinous ligament. These 2 spinuses are close. These are big. It's already ripped apart. Plus, if you look at this vertebral body that's outlined with this black magic marker, it's nice and square. We look at this vertebral body, and what happened here? It's sloped down. That's an anterior wedge compression fracture. Yes, attorneys, compression fracture. This is serious, and below it's a compression fracture deformity. So you can see the floating avulsion, torn posterior. Watch these interspinous ligaments here. These 2 will come together in a minute. And again, do you think this is more than 0.06 millimeters? I mean, if everybody can see this, watch these 2 come together right there. See, that's we take an X-ray. That looks fine. We don't see no avulsion fracture. Everything lines up. So let me go on to point out where these ligaments are now, just to refresh your mind. Anterior longitudinal ligaments in the front of the bones, the bodies. And when they tear, they make sounds like that, and it's called a subfailure. Watch it again. It either shifts back or it rocks up. There we go. Subfailure of the anterior longitudinal. So you change the disc angle. Now we did one other thing with this technology, because the lawyers always said, why can't I see my client? State Farm thinks you guys are throwing x-rays at me of someone else. So we added a picture-in-picture board, so we digitally look at your patient on the outside. So we see Susie here, and we're looking inside simultaneously. It becomes alive. Everybody loves watching movies today. We send this to the insurance adjusters. They go nuts. It scares the heck out of them, and they just want to settle. So what we do is we can see Susie. Her complaint was stabbing pain when she looks up towards the ceiling. And if you follow this George's line up, right there, bam, it comes back. That's a shift, shearing backwards, tearing of the anterior longitudinal ligament. We freeze it, we add arrows, we send the tape into the insurance company, and right there is actually that disc angulation. I mean, right there, the disc is pinching in the front, right there, and it's gapping in the back. That's an increased disc angle, which indicates a posterior longitudinal ligament injury too. So she has an anterior and a posterior longitudinal ligament permanently. Young girl.